We have sprung forward, but now it is time for CGL to spring forward into some Overwatch 2. My name is Sam Talks. Joining me is 2Tryhard Ray. Now, Ray, we're going to be stepping foot into the Platinum tier. Now, just because we're in the Platinum tier doesn't mean that things are going to be any less engaging or explosive. And our two teams for tonight are going to be Primal Warriors T2 versus the Pack Academy.
Yeah, both teams sitting at 3-3, so they both are looking to move up the rankings within their groups and make that push toward the stage 2 playoffs and put themselves in a good seeding position. A couple information that we were given was Pack Academy won season 6 of CGL. So lots to look forward to there. And according to them, they've been, not having the best season, obviously sitting at 3-3, and they say a lot of people are preying on their downfall.
We'll see about how that's going to work out, right? Because if both of these teams are 3-3, so we're looking at kind of the underdog matchup. There's still 4 teams left in this tier, so yeah, kind of. One team is absolutely going to be walking away at the bottom, and the other team gets to be feeling a little bit easier about what they've been able to accomplish tonight. But that's going to be the real question. What can they accomplish? What are we going to get out? We've been seeing some different compositions coming out now that we have the pro-ams happening right now. We get to see a little bit of a look into what some of the more competitive scenes are looking like. And now here, maybe taking some of that knowledge and then putting it into the game, and especially into our first map of Busan.
I also think with some of the compositions we've been seeing, especially out of the NA side of the Pro-Ams, that a lot of these compositions that I see transition down to back when I was playing competitively in like the Plat and Gold areas. I mean, it's, Reinhardt with May Bastion, like that is just tier 2 to a T in my head right now, the Plat tier. So it would not surprise me if we start to see those types of compositions peeking out. Cassidy always going to be a strong option. I mean, basically has half a pulse bomb on cooldown that will, track you and stick you that magnetic grenade. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is actually pretty insane. So being able to use that to your advantage, right? We go into this, we'll see just what the teams are, gonna pull out as much as they can from whatever they have. And that's one of the exciting things about the lower tiers is the sort of chaos that happens. You don't really know what to expect, right? We typically see players go towards what they feel the most comfortable with, whether or not that's the meta as to whatever is happening during that time period. And so, maybe we'll be seeing more of that here tonight, or maybe, maybe they're feeling very confident in what they can bring out of the meta.
Only time will tell. And as you mentioned, starting on Busan, is we'll get into the lineups for you guys. Primal Warriors, they got Tile Daxies, Bean, L3, Yellow, and Big Flapjack. Rounding out their roster, as we will now pull up the Pack Attack roster. They are looking at the Overlord, Wide Deco, Plebeian, Corbid, and Contrast.
So there you have it. These are looking to shape up to be incredible rosters, right? They're sitting at the 3-3 score line currently. So a lot of pressure here to be able to capitalize and to be able to take home a win tonight. Obviously, that's going to be able to set yourself up really good when we start looking towards the playoffs here happening in a couple of weeks. But you've gone 6 games already. Now you're on your 7th one. There's been the time to formulate ideas. There's been the time to formulate strategies. There's been the time to scrim and to really understand what you need to do in order to get success. That's kind of been just out of reach.
Exactly. And, foreshadowing into our first map, which is Busan, we will be starting on downtown. I talked about we might see these Reinhardt compositions. I don't think we'll be seeing that as much on this map. We still could, given the tier that we're in. But when I think of downtown, I think more of these Ball Winston style compositions, which has also been extremely viable in all these like Pro-Am and all the tournaments we've been seeing recently. As it sits, Pack Academy is looking to play that Winston composition. They are going to have Deco on the Tracer. It's really going to be on, I mean, you're committing a lot of resources to this Widow with the Mercy. They have to be getting those picks. And for Primal Warriors, the key is with L3 on this Bastion, once they move in on the Reinhardt, they have to take full advantage of the turret form, because once that is all used up, Bastion doesn't do a whole lot for this composition.
Ooh, Primal Warrior is actually switching Bean over onto the Reaper as well. This might give the Overlord some pause about going into that. You're going to have Bastion inside of that turret form, potentially laying out so much damage, but if you just get rid of them, hold up onto here, and take out Flapjack immediately, Primal Warriors have lost a lot of their maneuverability and a lot of their bite to go along with it. But like I said, the raw damage, meanwhile, Contrast, already up, excuse me? 3 right off the bat. What is going on here?
That is the Widow Mercy taking full advantage of the pocket and hitting those headshots. Contrast already almost has the sights. That's crazy. But the big mistake was Flapjack getting out of position and allowing Overlord to finish them off without even having to drop to the low ground. You lose your speed boost, and that was it.
You can't even get on the side anymore. With the way that Contrast is playing, you just can't. They've already taken down the Bastion. Now it's looking towards 81 walking down this funnel. If I were Primal Warriors, it's going to be time to make some big compositional switches, because you can't move anywhere. And then the rest of the team is just keeping applying constant pressure on you at all times.
You do get Overlord down, so this is their chance to push in. The res comes in, but I mean, I don't like them pushing down this alleyway. It's just free sight lines for Contrast.
And then they're going to set themselves right back up on this high ground where they've already gotten away with so much time and time again. You really do have to keep an eye on. You see that they're trying their best to be able to do that. We have Bean getting a kill onto Cordy B, trying to TP up onto the high ground. It's just not going to be able to before the Overlord jumps right on top of them. At the very least, though, for Primal Warriors, it seems like they've done enough damage here to be able to take the point back.
I think this is where we get the swap. Yeah, the Overlord, that Winston was so vulnerable between that Reaper, between that Bastion, as you mentioned. It was a lot to pause and think about, because you make one little peek, one little mistake, and you get blown up as the Winston. So now you have the ability with this Orisa to use that Javelin spin, and look at that, go straight at the Bastion, and he's down.
It was just completely, LJ was separated from the rest of the team. The Javelin Spear just kept doing more and more work. Now we get to see them walk right in here using the Javelin Spin. Contrast doing what they do best and popping heads like it is nobody's business. And there we have it, just as soon as the Pack Academy lost it, back in control once more at this point.
And that's the value that we're seeing from the Orisa. The Orisa has the ability to brawl with that Reinhardt when necessary, because like we mentioned, this Widow Mercy is kind of doing their own thing. So you need a tank that can withstand itself up against the Reinhardt in the mid fight. And the Overlord now on this Orisa is doing that beautifully, has the damage mitigation with the Javelin spin, and then can pop the Fortify if they ever get into any trouble.
And Contrast is already on the ball. Has taken out Bean. Now Overlord gets to stay up here so much more. We're gonna see the Earth Shadow coming in from Tilted Axis, gets the charge kill onto Cordy. Now it's time to rotate, see if we can maybe find another potential target. Oh, but things are looking grim here already, Ray. That Terror Surge coming up big. Now it's time to get rid of this Reinhardt. Continue to have this hold. I don't think the Primal Warriors have anything left in them.
Yeah, Tilt was able to get that shatter, but they charged in, got the Baptiste, which I think was a very good target focus, but you just left your team high and dry. Pack Academy was able to just all coalesce onto the back line of the team, focus them down, and that was it. Pack Academy takes downtown and takes a resounding 1-0 lead on Busan.
That they do. It was a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a struggle, but you have Contrast, who's been, I mean, what an opener. Right, Ray? We got to talk about that.
Yeah, Contrast.
Not even. It was like not even 5 seconds, and Contrast was already like 4 kills, all of them headshots.
Yeah, just picture perfect aiming, and that's what you had to see when you commit that many resources to the Widow, and you know, they popped off when they needed to. As we now move into Mechvase, which I think is the quintessential Reinhardt map, which Pack Academy has swapped over to, but now we have Primal Warriors. They're essentially playing the Owl Grand Finals composition, except they're substituting Bean, who, you know, normally would be like on a Reaper in this comp, but they're gonna play the Genji. But there's so much damage between the Junk and the Reaper to throw onto Tilt, Like you said, it's going to give him pop.
It's all gonna be, what do you want to do here as this Winston? These close corridors. Look at what Overlord is able to get away with. So much damage that Tilted Axis couldn't do anything. And then you combine that, oh, that's a beautiful pin too, to get rid of LJ. Once again, the Pack Academy starting off an incredibly strong opener. This is going to give them the point. Primal Warriors back right into the spawn room.
As we see Primal swapping over to the Reinhardt now, it's just so perplexing to me. You were playing the Reinhardt on downtown where, you know, that's not, this is the map where you normally see the Reinhardt, so why would you even switch that up? Especially since you realize you lost the fight, let's just play Reinhardt now. Play it from the beginning, and maybe you're in a better spot and getting the percentage yourself. But now Pack Academy can continue to hold these doors, not allow them to take any kind of space, and between the Reaper and the Junkrat, it puts so much pressure onto Tilt's shield.
Yeah, and Primal Warriors, I mean, look at that. Overlord has already gotten to an Earth Shatter that they can use. You just had to wait for the right moment. Might actually be right here. Yes, it is. It's free real estate, Ray. That's all it is. You go right in, you kill everybody. Pack Academy is on fire.
Exactly. And as I mentioned, with the amount of shield pressure that the Reaper and the Junkrat apply to Tilt's shield, it's just going to make Overlord's job for finding shatters so much easier, because you're never going to have to worry about that stinking shield, as they are just finding it. Looking and searching, and the charge comes in.
Oh my word, it's already meeting back up for another battle here. So far, this is just gonna be the Overlord trying their best, building up to another shatter. We see the death blossom from Kiko. Unbelievable what these Reapers are able to get away with. The Overlord on a one-way trip takes Tilted Axis along with them. Pack Academy, Ray, it's a foot pedal. It's a pedal on the gas that just has not been let up this entire time.
The problem is Overlord was not able to press the brakes on that charge, so they cannot push up and be as aggressive. They need their Reinhardt back. So this is Primal Warriors' opportunity. They're going to be able to take the space here, but they have to make this fight worth it, as this is the final fight as the tire comes in looking for some picks.
It's going to be finding something big here. I could imagine you take out Bean, who took out your Reaper along with it. And then the Coalescence does its job. Overlord with another Earth Shatter. And just like that, shattering whatever chances the Primal Warriors had of being able to hold on to this point. They had it for just nary a second. The Pack Academy, that is going to be an easy win here for them inside of overtime. No one to touch. That is going to be 2-0 here on Busan.
Making it look easy like Sunday night. I know the song's Sunday morning, but it is technically Sunday night right now. They are playing incredible. Let's just see this pop-off play from Contrast. This is what we were talking about, guys. Like, let's just see this. Bam! And another! And another!
They're all full power shots. So they're landing these insane headshots. They did it on a tank, too. So it just goes to show you that Contrast was more than ready tonight to bring the heat, to give the Pack Academy that win they're looking for, so that way they can go into, well, obviously the next game, not the underdog anymore. They're tired of that underdog status, Ray.
Again, this has also just been like, it feels like Primal gets off to a bad start on these maps and can never look back. They struggle to find what kind of composition they want to play in the beginning. I still think back to Mechabase, not starting out on that Reinhardt. And even on downtown, Primal kind of got, you know, the Lucio making that huge mistake and peeking up too far, kind of like Icarus flying too close to the sun. Winston was able to take him out, and then they lose that first fight, and it was hard for them to get their footing back. They have to have better, more clean first fights in these series to set themselves up for better success.
It's just kind of insane what would happen when the Pack Academy was in control. It was, and they got into control very quickly, and even when they lost the point, it was just like, all right, let's make some switches here and there. Let's go. Overlord goes over to the Orisa, and that completely changed the entire tune of what we saw in downtown. And then obviously what we had from Mechabase was, once again, a really good amount of tank play from the Overlord, landing some Earth Shatters that there was no comeback, right? There was no comeback for the Primal Warriors whatsoever. Now we go on to our second map very soon here of Midtown. With the way, though, that, I mean, the Pack Academy was playing, Ray, let's think about this for a second, right? They shown that they're really good at Brawl. They've shown that they're really good at Dive, but they've also shown that they're really good at these poke style compositions. So this is a team that has sort of a wide array in their toolkit.
And having that wide ranging skills and compositions, a lot of the time can come down just the flexibility of all your players, and Pack Academy has shown that. I mean, the 2 times they did win their maps, they were playing a Brawl-esque style of composition. Mecha base was the Reinhardt with the Reaper Junkrat, and then when downtown, when they started to turn things around, that's when they went to the Orisa. They still had that Widow Mercy, but the rest of the team was kind of playing Brawl, and then they just committed the Widow Mercy, which makes sense. It was downtown, lots of sightlines to work with. I would love to see them expand a little bit more. I don't think you're going to have to on Midtown. You can still probably look to play these similar compositions and make it work. But especially as we're getting closer to the playoffs, we need to see that versatility. I'd love to see some dive out of them. I'd love to see maybe when we get to Escort, maybe a Sigma style poke composition.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised here if the Pack Academy decides to start off with that dive style composition with the Winston that we saw originally. Primal Warriors maybe doing the same thing that we saw on downtown. Start off with Reinhardt, Reaper, Bastion, see where it goes from there, see where that could potentially take you. It's just that the Pack Academy, if they meet any resistance, right, it all then comes back to let's pull back here, let's make the switches. Contrast did a really good job on a Widowmaker, but also did a really good job on a Junkrat as well. That's something that we need to talk about. To go from a hit scan to a projectile DPS and then still have the amount of impact that you did, which was, first of all, bursting down a Reinhardt shield, forcing Tilted Axis to get off of their tank, and potentially trying to go from a Winston to a Reinhardt to give them that kind of pause, to give them that kind of scare, right? It just goes to show you what this one DPS player has been putting the pressure onto this team.
Yeah, and you normally think when, you're thinking of different types of players, you think there's a flex player who plays more of like the Reaper, the Junkrat, the Genjis of the world, the Tracers, the flex. Then you think of the hit scan player, but the contrast is showing I am just the giga mega flex of our team. I will play anything we need to bring our team to victory. As we move into Midtown, Primal Warriors on this defense, looking to play that similar Ryan composition with the Bastion Junkrat. The interesting part is they are not electing to play a Lucio into this composition. That's normally, when you think Reinhardt, you think Lucio with it, because Reinhardt thrives on using that speed boost to take space and to move away with the speed boost to just give ultimate positioning. Pack Academy is playing that Reinhardt composition. They're going to go with the Symmetra. So they have to be on high alert, Primal Warriors, looking for those TPs, because they could be in your face in an instant.
Oh yeah, combine that with the Lucio, it's all about getting in there fast and all about dealing as maximum amount of damage as you can. We're gonna see if that difference here is gonna be enough for the Primal Warriors, but at the very least, they're holding them back for now, and a really good trap has stopped the Overlord in their tracks. For the moment, returning our attention over, Kigo is so low, just hair's breadth, and Pumpkin Pie was good enough to be able to get that kill. Still a Reinhardt in your face, makes for a very scary possibility. But for now, the Primal Warriors holding back the Pack Academy.
Yeah, I mean, they went in fast and furious, but we saw that Pumpkin Pie was just in the back line because he was setting up on that second floor hoping that they would take the flank route, and they didn't. So Pumpkin Pie was there to pepper and damage from behind. Then it just blew up, like you mentioned, that beautiful trap in the middle of the street to slow down the push that Pack Academy was trying to make, and that was the end of that fight. As we now move on, Primal Warriors looking to push in with the charge. Oh, Pumpkin Pie getting low.
And dude, you don't want them to go down because they have the Riptire, but the Earth Shatter comes in. A really nice protection Suzu from Yellow. Tried to stall things out for a little bit longer, but it was just not in the cards. You've lost Tilted Axis, and now that's your main tank. The Pack Academy took a little bit of time to get there, but eventually they took out, from contrast by the way, took out the Riptire, Pumpkin Pie on top of that, and there we have it. The Pack Academy gets point A.
That was worst case scenario, ultimate disaster for Primal Warriors. You mentioned, oh my gosh, this charge, but the Mercy's there to protect. You got to get out of there, Overlord. You got to get out of there.
It's so dangerously low, but it looks like they might be able to. Look what happens when you have the Lucio, Ray. The Lucio goes in, bails their Reinhardt out immediately. Overlord lives. Tilted Axis, on the other hand, does not have the speed on their side, could not get out.
Insane. I thought that was all but over. I thought Overlord was going to die there, but you mentioned that is just continuing to show you the power of that Lucio. And Pack Academy, look at the ultimates they've built up. Contrast even swapped over to the Hanzo, and they're going to be in an even fight. Oh, I didn't even realize that Tilt used the Shatter in that fight too, so they're not going to have that this fight.
That's going to be rough, especially for, I mean, this upcoming fight. You could have potentially used that to save yourself against a Death Blossoming Reaper or something, but now Kigo could potentially run away with so much here. They just got, okay, a tactical flanking Reinhardt. Here comes in the Death Blossom as well. Didn't find too much, and the Overlord also used their Earth Shatter. Not gonna find anything through that shield. Flapjack commits the revive, but Overlord is gonna commit a slam right onto Pumpkin Pie. Pack Academy, it is going, this is so fast. They're just, this payload has not stopped ever since they've been able to get through with it, through that initial doorway. Unbelievable. By the way, Contrast, wow.
Contrast said, I'll play Sim, I'll play Junk, I'll play Snipers, and I am going to carry the lobby and carry my team to victory. The amount of damage, that's the big thing. When we've seen this Bastion come out in these Pro-Am weekends, the big counter to the Bastion has been the Hanzo. So I don't know if Pack Academy's been, you know, peeking a little bit. Oh, goodness.
Pumpkin Pie, just a little peek of their head. Contrast inside the Storm Arrows. Now he's gonna use the Dragons just to separate, just to isolate. And now it's all poor LJ by themselves. There was nothing that they could do to get away. It was like he said, sort of the Hanzo has been this sticking point right now. And it's just continuing to be this sticking point time and time again. And an Overlord, the Overlord with another perfect block of Tilted Axis' Earth Shatter. Primal Warriors, they don't have much left in the toolkit anymore, Ray. I'm gonna be honest.
As they bring out the Torbjorn now, hoping this turret can try and make something happen. I was actually very curious. The Shatter comes in to just put more just rubbing alcohol into the wound, make it burn harder.
You're gonna have to see the Coalescence be used to try and make sure that the Overlord survives. They're not gonna be able to, not with Kigo getting a double kill, then Contrast another one. This poor Bastion, by the way, I think has been slammed now 3 times. It's been charged into the wall over and over again by the Overlord. Pack Academy, Ray, at this point, they're just operating at another level.
3:16 on the clock. It took them 44 seconds off their time bank in total to get this all the way to the end. Let that sink in.
Okay, it sunk in. I'm scared.
Yeah, I am terrified. Pack Academy, like you mentioned, like we saw in their team sheet, they said that people are preying on their downfall, but their downfall looks like it's not happening so far. Primal Warriors need to find some kind of answer to deal with this Hanzo. And one has to think, maybe you pull out a Winston, maybe you pull out a Wrecking Ball, some sort of dive that can get past the Reinhardt and just go after the backline of Pack Academy.
Yeah, because Contrast has basically been getting away with all of this. No one really had been able to stop them this entire time. They were able to set themselves up, and then once they did, you just couldn't get rid of him. He was this menace on the field that was completely uncontested the entire way through. And we saw what's happening when they're not contested. You gotta put the pressure onto Contrast. You gotta make sure that this Hanzo isn't landing shot after shot after shot on your team.
I think one thing you can look forward to for Primal is now they have the Lucio in their Orisa competition they're now playing, and Pack Academy defensively is not playing a Lucio. So they're not going to have this speed boost to speed into Primal or speed themselves out of bad situation. So Primal can get in and make things happen. Their positioning is going to be much stronger having that Lucio speed boost available.
Ooh, I'm just scared if you're gonna be out in the open like that, LJ, with no one to protect your head from this Hanzo. Inside of the train too. Oh my word. the fact that you were able to get out of there, LJ, and you're gonna try and tempt fate once more. This is a very scary maneuver. Getting up into the back line, they see Plebeian. Maybe an opportunity has presented itself, but they do fly away and just could not get out of there. Cordy to hunt them down. Now it's Kigo to do the same thing. This time onto yellow. They TP over into a safer area. Pack Academy, though, they're getting away with murder.
So that's the issue with the soldier. We're seeing that Primal's playing L3J, trying to take the train and take that high ground. If you're going to do that, you're abandoning resources from your team to go take this flank, right? So you either have to occupy the entirety of that Hanzo Mercy, like we saw for a second, but it wasn't occupied nearly long enough. If you can occupy them long enough, that gives your front line the advantage in the battle. But when you're not doing that, then you're just making them take a 4v5.
Oh no! The dragons inside of the train! This could be the worst possible scenario here for the Primal Warriors. Look at how low they are. Then the Earth Shatter on top of that. You go into that train, you better be expecting the worst. And guess what? The worst has happened for the Pack Academy. It was one after another, Ray.
Oh man, that is why a lot of people say that train pathing can be dangerous, especially when you're going against a Hanzo. And you've been well into the round, so you know the dragons are online. I just think that was a just poorly thought out plan from Primal Warriors, as they are now electing to not go that direction anymore. Probably the smart decision, but double support ultimates for Pack Academy. Lots of sustain available.
Hopefully, if you can get something away from Flapjack, this sound barrier coming up could be the initiator that you need. Oh, that's actually a really good one too. You just had to make sure that Plebeian is not able to get the res off, but they do. Pumpkin Pie also goes down by Overlord. You're seeing everything trying so hard from Tilted Axis, but you just can't get it. Now we have the Earth Shatter, but no one to really be caught inside of that. Meanwhile, look what Contrast has been doing to your team.
And they committed the sound barrier and the shatter and the Kitsune rush to that fight. They are only looking at tactical visor. The only silver lining I see is that Pack Academy has nothing right now. They also had to expend a lot of ultimates. I actually like Pumpkin Pie swapping over the Sojourn. I like the rail shots. I mean, we saw them pick off Contrast, but you have to confirm the Mercy. You cannot allow them to just res in front of your team like that. And now the headshot coming in from Contrast.
Oh, Contrast is just having so much fun. Then they see LJ, that's a free Soldier 76. And now the Primal Warriors, they have to restart. They can't do anything. You got to make sure that you're not doing any more staggers. And with less than 40 seconds to go, Ray, it's now or never. It's all or nothing.
Oh, Primal Warriors are in a tough spot, and they had to deal with another Contrast Dragons. Even if they don't go through the train and they come underneath, this Dragons can still split the team off perfectly.
And waste time too. That's what's even more important here. And by the way, Contrast blowing the door wide open once more with a kill on the LJ. Tilted Axis, they can't even walk forward anymore before being put down into the ground once again by Contrast. Now it's just free real estate. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get another play of the game. A charge kill here has just put to bed anything that the Primal Warriors were hoping to get. The Pack Academy taking Midtown in just as convincing a fashion as what we saw on Busan.
Absolute dominance coming from the entirety of Pack Academy, but it has been on the backs of the Overlord and Contrast. Both of these players have just been showing out. I didn't even realize he used the shatter amongst that Dragons. Oh man, just they are putting on a show. It's going to be tough. What can Primal Warriors do to combat this stalwart Reinhardt composition that we've been seeing? I talked about it. We need some sort of dive. I always say the Achilles heel to a good Reinhardt composition is playing a good ball composition, and we need to see that out of Primal Warriors to try and come back.
Listen, the two players I think that we can talk about when it comes to the Pack Academy are the Overlord, the tank, and Contrast, the DPS. Which, by the way, Contrast, what we've seen from them so far. What, 5 heroes tonight? A Widowmaker, a Junkrat, a Symmetra, and now Hanzo. So 4 in total. This one player has been So this one player has just been having so much impact, so much out of what they've been able to gain. And then 2, comboing that with Overlord, who is kind of fearless, Ray. And when I say kind of, I mean they don't care about anything. They're more than happy to charge into the fray because they know that they can get away with it, because they know that they have their Lucio there to give them the support to pull them out, or they have either a Baptiste immortality field to keep themselves alive, and they trust in Contrast to be able to secure the kills that they need.
That's the thing about Reinhardt players. I played a lot of Reinhardt myself, is when you go in like that and you swing, you are putting the faith in your backline and or DPS to keep you up through all of this, to confirm the kills, or to have that damage to help you get the kills faster from your DPS. So they are showing just the teamwork they have and the synergy and the trust they have in each other for him to be so brash, to be so bold as to continue to swing.
And certainly they are. We'll see if they're going to be able to continue that on to our next map of Junkertown, or if the Primal Warriors T2 have been able to find their footing. They've been able to figure out the secret formula of the Pack Academy's success and take it away from them. It's like you've been saying though, Ray, that dive composition that they have, take away the strength that they're getting. Disrupt the backline some more. Take that dive and really put it into there. We saw from the Primal Warriors just a little peek into that dive composition that they think that they can get away with. We saw it on Mecha Base in Busan. We saw the Winston. So bring that out. Take it for a spin. See if maybe you can get something out of it. Or go with the ball. Just don't let Contrast keep landing headshots onto your DPS over and over again.
At this point, you literally have nothing to lose. You've been getting dominated. You're down 2-0. You have to come up with something, and Junkertown is the perfect map to bring this out. It is full-on dive-oriented or poke-oriented. Allow your hit scans to pop off. This is their opportunity, but they're going to have to be careful. Junkertown is a very good Widow map, and Contrast is ready to click those heads.
That's what scares me the most here for Primal Warriors. If you let Contrast continue to do what they did on downtown of Busan, it's going to spell disaster here for the Primal Warriors. We are on match point now, Ray. This is all or nothing for the Primal Warriors. They need to start the reverse sweep on this map, or the Pack Academy is going to be walking away 4-3. They're no longer going to be the underdogs, and for whoever was praying for their downfall, it seems like the prayers have just gone unanswered. The Pack Academy looking so incredible right now. The Primal Warriors, they need to dig deep. They need to call upon those reservoirs and try something different. Try something to really give the Pack Academy some pause to think about.
Only time will tell as we are getting ready to get you guys into the action for this. We do have some subs coming in. We have Chaos coming in for the tank, as well as Bean and Axis on the DPS line. No support changes, however. And I believe this is for Pack Academy.
This is for Primal.
Oh, Primal. I'm sorry, for
Warriors,
Primal.
I believe. Yes. So this is actually good, though, right, Ray? Because maybe these substitutions are what they need. Maybe these substitutions, Junkertown, this might be better for them. They come in a little fresh face. They haven't had to go against the Fury that's been the Pack Academy this entire time. And so you go into this, you think to yourself, all right, we got these subs if you're Primal Warriors. We got what was supposed to be our starter tank. Chaos was supposed to be the starter tank, and said Tilted Axis took over that position. Now, Chaos has been kind of chilling out. They've had an opportunity to really look at what the Pack Academy has been doing here. Maybe, and just maybe, they've been able to formulate inside of their brain, this is what we need to do, everyone. This is what we need to do, and we need to do it now because this is it.
Or maybe the swaps that are coming in are going to allude to a different style of play. Like in Overwatch 2, with only one tank in the game, not everyone has that hyperflex tank who can play everything. So maybe Chaos coming in has the ability to play the ball, or maybe a diva or something. As it sits on the defense, however, for Pack Academy, they're going to continue to play this Reinhardt. Contrast is going to play the Ashe, so no Widow to have to deal with, but an Ashe pocketed is just as dangerous. They need to be ready as they are looking to hold close.
We'll see if the Primal Warriors roster switches, the substitutions are going to work out for them here. It seems already the close hold that the Pack Academy were wanting to have is going to be taken away from them. Bean playing this Sombra, a lot of opportunities here. You could hack Overlord, take them out of commission for a second, or like what we've been saying this entire time, get into the backline, disrupt Contrast, or go for Plebeian, take away the damage boost they've been having. It's already going to be that much more difficult with Cordy B on fire right now. Getting the kill onto Tilted Axis, forcing out the revive from Yellow, and Bean so far just hasn't been able to find too much. There we have it though. Primal Warriors getting rid of Kigo. Plebeian still has the opportunity to be able to get the res off, but now you're able to get into the faces of the Pack Academy that much more easier.
They're finally able to buy that space, but for how long? I mean, the players will be coming back, and Bean hasn't been able to get that value on the Sombra. They kind of just been ignoring her at this point, and down goes Bean.
She just wasn't able to stand up to Contrast, really. They throw in the dynamite, they get a clean headshot, and that's just going to be all they wrote. Now it's so dangerous for Yellow. In goes the dynamite, but it looks like they were just far enough away. Up into the air, ran out of bullets, but Kigo to secure that kill for the Pack Academy. This has been Pack Academy. There it is. In comes the Terror Surge, and I'm gonna be honest, Ray, that Terror Surge, rest of the team, no one to capitalize. You get the kill onto Cordy, but at that point,
Terror Surge gets the kill, but you get the res coming in from Cordy B, so no longer have to deal with that in this fight. I mean, you will be able to make the floor lava and make it a little bit more difficult for this Reinhardt composition who has no way of aerial escape. At least the Overlord doesn't. Everyone else has a way of aerial escaping. So you can isolate the Overlord. I think that's going to be your key to this next engage, is isolating the Overlord and trying to pick him off.
let's go. Oh my God. Contrast, please. You're just getting away with murder now at this point. Tilted Axis. We all know what's about to happen here, though. The revive comes through. Oh, look at Overlord being so nice, standing in front of their revive DPS.
Like, I will take the bullets for you as you're coming back, my friend. Like that classic Reinhardt from the cinematic.
Exactly. It's all the Contrast game now. They have Bob. They have the raw mechanical skill. It's just, they can't go anywhere. Now it's going to be an Earth Shatter. Yeah. Primal Warriors, they can't go anywhere.
A solo shattered Bean. That's got to feel bad as a Sombra to get solo shattered like that. And the crazy part was Flapjack nanoed Chaos into that fight, but Pack Academy had so much damage, they just blew up Chaos, and down goes Chaos again. You cannot afford to be losing your tank this early in the fight.
Now there's only 1 minute left, and Pack Academy, they have 2 support ultimates. Contrast goes down again, but they don't care because they know that they can get away with this. It's going to be the get out of jail free card from Plebeian. Oh, this might be the opening though. Kigo hits the Wraith form as we group the team back up to full. This EMP might turn things back around, but already we're seeing kills coming in for the Pack Academy. They're unstoppable, Ray. That's really all it is to this. They are, for lack of a better word, unstoppable.
This Sombra just is not it. Even the EMP doesn't get a whole lot, and there was nothing to follow up on it. And your Sigma and your Orisa had just been continually getting run down. You need another DPS, as we now see Bean going over to the Reaper. This is going to provide more protection and more damage to allow Chaos to take these frontline battles with the Reinhardt.
But it's already too little too late. Tilted Axis falls once more. Yellow to get the revive off, but you're brought into overtime now. Contrast still has the Bob, and another kill onto Bean. This is all over at this point. You can see they're just having fun at this point. Another Death Blossom comes in from Kigo to really seal the deal here. Overtime ticks away. Pack Academy, Ray, they don't have far to go. They really don't.
And the way this match has been turning out is kind of crazy. Like, both of these teams came in 3-3, and you would think one team is undefeated and the other team hasn't gotten a win yet. Like, the disparage, the difference between two teams with the same record is just kind of nuts in my head to me. But Pack Academy are proving themselves to be a very dangerous team going forward. So to any of you top teams sitting in that Platinum division, watch out for this team.
Yeah, it's like the Pack Academy has taken this time throughout this season to really learn, really improve themselves. That's a 3-3 scoreline for both of these teams, Ray. Well, the way that the Pack Academy is playing, you would have been thinking they've been undefeated almost this entire time. They've done everything so well, especially when you have someone like Contrast, who's been blowing heads off, literally blowing heads off.
As we swap sides, this is Primal Warriors' absolute chance. Back against the walls, the Pack Academy has the chance to send this all done and dusted and take the victory to move to 4 and 3. They are playing this Orisa composition. They're going to have Bean on the Tracer, hopefully to be able to put some pressure onto this backline for Pack Academy, maybe onto Contrast, because Contrast has just been unaffected so far and is just continuing to click these heads.
Hopefully they don't get their head clicked off. That's really what you have to hope for here. Already, it's set up at the high ground. Get rid of that turret. Look towards the Torbjorn once more. That's been a kind of a primary target this entire time. Kigo to also cause some chaos, and that's what we've been talking about. Get in there, cause that chaos, and Ray, what did I say? You don't want your head clicked off. If you're the Tracer, what does Contrast do? They click their head off. Tilted axis, how much more are you gonna be able to survive off of the air? Just a free kill onto the Torbjorn.
That's it.
Ray,
I think that's it.
This is it. Yep, that's it. The Pack Academy gonna take Junkertown. Gonna take the rest of this. It's all them now. 3-0. Bean, last ditch effort. That's all it's gonna be. What
I was on speedrun.com. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What a series, right? What a speed run. What a game from the Pack Academy.
And this kind of felt like a statement game for them. Like you mentioned, 3 and 3. This is the moment that seasons can just turn around for the better. And I think this is what it did for Pack Academy. They can now take this momentum of just absolutely demolishing Primal Warriors, a team who was like on the same level as them, 3 and 3, and they can take that moving forward and hopefully move up the standings and look forward to the Stage 2 playoffs.
Which are going to be happening very soon here. So being able to have that in your back pocket as the Pack Academy, no longer the underdogs, everyone who was praying for their downfall. Well, it turns out that it wasn't going to happen tonight. No, not with the way that the Pack Academy was playing. And so we're very excited to see how the rest of the season is going to go for them. How much more can they improve? What else can they take away from the lessons that they've been able to learn here? And for the Primal Warriors, it's still not over for them either. They have a lot to learn from this. They can take that. They can use that to improve themselves. They can use that going forward. And like you said, take that into the playoffs as well.
Only time will tell. But before we close out the stream for the night, time to award MVP. And I don't think we even need to talk about it. I think we know it's a guy who's, been very contrasting in the DPS he's been playing. Has been all over the place, but has been dominating all of them. It is Contrast.
Really, who else should it go to? Thinking about it, you could also maybe squeeze the Overlord into that conversation as well. But Contrast, time and time again, a lot of what they were able to do, a lot of what we saw the Pack Academy accomplish here was because they were just clicking heads.
4 headshots to open up Busan. 4 headshots.
And that was just pure headshots. It wasn't even like... You could probably factor in the Mercy damage boost, yeah, but let's be real. Those were all 100% full charge headshots that they did not miss. Unbelievable.
And with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up for the night. Thank you, everyone who tuned into the stream. Thank you, Sam, for joining me in this cast. Thank you, Headrammer, for producing behind the scenes. As we mentioned, Pack Academy takes the victory 3-0, and we will join you guys next time on CGL. Y'all have a good night.